I got to now remember my advice about being nervous before you talk. Particularly as one gets older, one gets forgetful as well. So I have to have some notes with me. I was asked to just talk about the skills gap in Cornwall, and surprisingly to me, just recently there was a national. The British Chambers of Commerce did a survey of 7,000 businesses last year, and in January this year, and there's definitely a national skills shortage which is reaching critical levels. So, learning new skills is definitely important. For example, in the service sector, 71% of those 7,000 businesses said they had recruitment difficulties, the highest since records began. They didn't say when they started their records, but I guess it was at least 10 years probably. And even in manufacturing, the recruitment now is the highest set of difficulties they've had since 2016. So it's a big problem there, and they need to kickstart the economy by addressing this big barrier to growth, namely the growing skills gap. So that's important. In Cornwall, 77% of businesses have difficulty filling vacancies and finding the right skills locally. So there's great opportunity here for people who want to stay in Cornwall. I'm not from Cornwall. I moved to Cornwall in 1971 from North Devon. I moved to the Satellite Earth Station at Goonhilly, but what I'm aware of is the majority of people had to move from Cornwall to get a half-decent job. So it's important now what is happening with Cornwall, particularly with the Cornwall and Isles of Scilly Skills Hub, that's encouraging businesses to go out and help people find jobs in the county. So, and believe me, this kind of activity that you're doing, maybe even if you don't go into programming, in future, anything that's of an engineering related bias is going to be increasingly important. Have you heard of the Cornwall, hang on, it's called, I tell you what my memory is, it's called the Human-Centered Space Action Plan. Anyone aware of that? No. Actually, the Cornwall and Isles of Scilly Local Enterprise Partnership issued this plan in March. Keep an eye on it. They're hoping to create 9,000 jobs in the space industry up to 2030 in Cornwall, based either at not based all over Cornwall, but primarily at the Aero Hub at Newquay and at the Space Science Centre at Goonhilly, which used to be Goonhilly Satellite Earth Station, which is where I spent 36 years of my career, and I'm grateful for it. And by the way, when I started there, programming wasn't easy. There may have been people programming on mainframe computers in those days, and I learnt logic design in the late 60s, which is ones and zeros, and became a logic design expert. But by 1975, 76, I'd moved on to systems design, and the microprocessor came along. So then people like Steve were doing the programming on microprocessors, and I missed all that. So I've never been a programmer, but I was an expert in systems design. So you see, the point is, you can start in programming, you can move on to other things. The important thing, I'm nearly finished though, by the way. I've gone past my 2 minutes, I'm sure I have. The important thing to say is, I've missed my point here, it's got to, where is it gone? Maintain a broad outlook, keep an open mind, never stop learning. I mean, I'm still learning at nearly 70 years old, so never stop learning. Never give up. I mean, I've been through a few issues in my life, but you never give up. And finally, with a right frame of mind, something usually turns up and you'll get there. And I think our opportunities for jobs in Cornwall are now much, much better than they've ever been. So keep up the good work. Okay?